beneath the Charing Cross Bridge here, if you look to your right, you'll see the Royal Festival Hall. This is the last remaining building from the Festival of Great Britain, 1961. Built as a post-war morale booster to help the nation recover from the war. Now, throughout the years, many famous people have played inside. Just to name you a few: Michael Jackson, Elton John, Amy Winehouse, Frank Sinatra. They have all played inside the festival. On the left now, if you have your cameras on you, the oldest thing of interest I'll be pointing out to you today, we have the Egyptian obelisk. This is Cleopatra's Needle. Cleopatra's Needle is said to be 3,500 years old, older than the city of London itself. And the needle, Cleopatra, was given as a gift from a thankful Egyptian government for Lord Nelson's victory against Napoleon, the French, at the Battle of the River Nile. And they made the needles in pairs. So the twins of Cleopatra you'll find in Central Park, New York. The next bridge in front of us we pass beneath is Waterloo Bridge. This is the longest bridge in London. It spans a quarter of a mile. The bridge was constructed during World War II. This is when all the men were away fighting the war for king and country. So built by a female workforce. We call it the Ladies' Bridge of London. And you'll be pleased to know, ladies, it's the only bridge ever in London built on time and, of course, under budget as well. So well done to the ladies during hard times as well. Look, as we pass beneath the bridge, a self-cleansing Portland stone was used to build the bridge. So every time it rains, the outsides get clean, but the rainwater cannot penetrate underneath the bridge. On the left here, you see the building with the green dome at the top, Somerset House. Somerset House is where they store all the birth, marriage and death certificates for England and Wales. He got given the old nickname of the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham. On the right here you can see the concrete building behind the trees with the electronic flashing signboard at the top, London's National Theatre. But you wouldn't think so to look at it. It looks a bit like a multi-storey car park. An old saying though is to never judge a book by its cover, and at a prize to that building is inside you'll find 3 of the best theatres in the country. Later this evening on the right here we have the South Bank of London, a lovely pathway along the banks of the Thames. The South Bank is 2 miles long. It starts at the London Eye and leads to Tower Bridge in front of us. This is where we have all the street performers, the bars and restaurants open along the South Bank over on the right. Ahead of us on our left hand side you can see a large white ship with a yellow funnel in the middle. This is called the Wellington, and the Wellington saw action for the Navy in New Zealand during World War II. Moored here today permanently as a floating Livery Hall. All that means is a drinking club for retired sea captains. You must have been a captain of a ship at sea for 25 years to be a member. King Charles III is the head of that club, and we do often see the King and his wife Camilla stumbling around the front deck of the Wellington, reenacting scenes from the Titanic when they've had one too many to drink. Behind the Wellington you can see a stone archway with the old Father Thames, and if you look closely on the roadway you can see silver dragons with red wings on their sides. These are boundary markers between the city of Westminster, we have left behind us now, and we have entered the City of London. The City of London we have just entered now, one of the smallest and wealthiest cities in the world. Measures 1 square mile. Over on the right here, follow the buildings, you can actually see one of London's best kept secrets, a golden sandy beach. Now later on that beach will be packed with children We do often see children paddling here in the polluted river, playing with sharp bits of glass, old bits of wood, and we call that your Londoners' day out. It's very busy when the sun's out, and it's free as well. On the right you can see the red brick building with the Oxo Tower at the top. Years ago, a warehouse called Stamford Wharf. This was where they made the Oxo stock cube. In there today we've got a shopping centre, we have apartments. If you look to the top where the glass canopy is, we have the Harvey Nichols Oxo Tower restaurant. Now that restaurant is said to be in the top 10 here in London. You get fantastic views there from the top as well. Over on our left you can see the white building with the green roof sloping down. This is the old City of London School for Boys. Today offices for an American bank, JP Morgan. Scholars were educated here, they spent their early education inside the school before moving on to Oxford or Cambridge. Ahead of us, over on the right, you can see the tall skyscraper with the curve in the centre, one of London's newest skyscrapers. And it looks a bit like a boomerang, I think myself, called One Blackfriars. Inside the building, you'll find apartments, so it's residential. And the higher up you go, the more expensive the apartments get inside. The reason is you pay for the view. I can imagine the penthouse on the top floor there worth millions of pounds. We see work taking place on the left as well. They're building a new sewer system in London called a Tideway Tunnel. A huge pipe they're building under the River Thames, taking away a London sewage. Starts way behind us, goes way downriver. Said to cost £5 billion. These are the Blackfriars bridges we pass beneath. Now these are the two closest, the two lowest we pass beneath today. The first one, a road bridge. The second one is a station. We have red pillars as well, so red columns in the centre as we pass beneath. These are the remains of the old railway bridge that used to carry steam trains from Chatham and Dover in Kent. The bridge became unsafe, so they carefully removed the top of the old railway bridge. They kept the pillars either side, as removing them would disturb the foundations of the bridges. The platforms for the Blackfriars station now are directly above us now. The first station to span the length of the River Thames. On the left here, as we pass beneath the bridge, we get a lovely photograph of St. Paul's Cathedral. This is the building with the dome and the golden cross at the top. The masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren, taking 35 years to build at a price of £750,000. And it stands at 365 feet tall, an easy number to remember, simply 1 foot for every day of the entire year. Where the railings are there, right at the top of St. Paul's Cathedral, we have a few people up there. There's a viewing platform, but there's no lift to take you to the top. You must walk over 500 steps. We can also visit the crypts, the tombs of Lord Nelson, Alexander Fleming, and the architect Sir Christopher Wren. They are all buried inside St. Paul's Cathedral. And on a Sunday it's free to visit as well. You can see a Sunday service inside St. Paul's, free of charge. And what an experience to go and see a service inside St. Paul's. Although like most churches, they have an old tradition. At the end, you'll see a man collecting donations towards the church. On the right here, we have the old Bankside Power Station, the building with the tall chimney in the centre. The building today is a museum, so refurbished into Tate Modern. Free to enter, you'll find modern art inside. Millennium Bridge here, you may recognise from the Harry Potter film. It was destroyed by the Death Eaters in the Harry Potter film. On the right here, We have the white building with the thatched roof at the top. This is a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, and it took over 20 years to get planning permission to build the replica from the council, because the roof made out of thatch, and all thatched roofs were made banned, illegal, ever since the Great Fire of London in 1666. And they reenact the plays inside in the traditional manner, just like Shakespeare would have performed them over 400 years ago. For the standing area, ticket prices to see a play costing £5, but £5 for live entertainment in central London. Excellent value for money.